Yo, what is going on, holistic hacks? So in this video I want to talk a little bit about goal setting. So happiness a lot of the time lies within our ability to actually achieve our goals, okay? Because by nature the human mind is a goal striving machine. So if we don't have goals, essentially we have no sense of direction. So when we try and set ourselves goals, there's a few fundamental things which helps to consider. So the first thing is we don't want to set goals that are more than 50% than what we've already achieved. Okay, so let's say, for example, your goal is to go 5 days without coffee and you achieve it. Don't then make the next goal 20 days without coffee. Okay, it should be more than 50% than what you've already achieved. So out of those 5 days, just add on another couple of days. So your next goal would then be 7 days, for example. So that's the first thing. The second thing, which I probably should have made the first thing, but it's differentiating between a process goal and an outcome goal. So an outcome goal is what you want to achieve, right? Okay, so we have outcome goals and we have process goals. The outcome goal is what you want to achieve ultimately, and the process goal are essentially the stepping stones that we take to get there. For example, outcome goal being to become an aircraft mechanic, and the process goals being, for example, step 1, save up $3,000 to pay for the tuition. Step 2, find an apprenticeship scheme or employment. Step 3, become aircraft mechanic. You see, so there's stepping stones to get there. Other things to consider: reward systems, actually pretty important. So having milestones, so when we get to those milestones we can actually celebrate them. But it's important to understand that when we celebrate these milestones, we're not celebrating in ways that are going to throw us out of balance. We celebrate in a way which honors the achievement that we've done, but also spurs us to carry on moving forward. So it doesn't mean if you go 3 months without eating junk food, you can suddenly have a frigging cake party. You know, it's about having reward systems which in place which allow you to stay on track. And lastly would be it's just slipped my mind. Yeah, 80-20 rule, okay? So the 80-20 rule, I'm sure you've heard it before, but it's essentially staying in alignment 80% of the time so that 20% of the time you can afford to be off course. So a lot of the time with goals, we're quite rigid with them, that's understandable. That's the nature of a goal. We adhere to it. But if deviating from that goal 20% of the time isn't going to throw you out of balance, but it's still going to keep you on course, then that's fine. So consider the 80-20 rule and understand that not everything has to be perfect, and it's more important that if we do fall off course, we can hop straight back on again and carry on, opposed to falling off course, saying, oh, it's gone to shit, and then just not bothering with the goal and just forgetting about it, okay? So that's another thing. And there's something else I want to talk about, which is, as important as goal setting is, there's something else which I like to think about, which is what I would just call a focus. Okay, so somebody came up with the whole SMART goals concept: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time effective, things like that. Which personally I don't think is a great idea. I mean, specifically with physical goals, I believe that has a lot of potential. So things like trying to have like fitness milestones, you know, where I want to run a marathon, for example, and then you can break that down into chunks. But most goals that people have some kind of emotional attachment to it. So you can't always be so rigid and specific when you have an emotional attachment to a goal. So this is why I like to just invite you to maybe try what I would call just a focus. So have an intention and have a focus for the week or for the day. So it might just be, you know, you might not want to set yourself a goal of ongoing 5 days without caffeine, for example. You might just want to have the focus of, my focus this week is to be more conscious of how much caffeine I'm taking in. Or My focus for this week is to be more empathetic and compassionate. Because a lot of the time we can't measure our goals, so just having the intention and the focus is sometimes enough to remain fluid and avoid actually having a catastrophic effect of where we don't achieve what it is that we want to achieve. So those are just a few pointers on goal setting, and maybe try the focus, and certainly try and implement it into your life, because as I said, by nature we are goal striving machines.